This the last conversation me and Nip had. You got to get in close. You see the date on there? See what that say? Tuesday, March 28th. This me and him talking. This me talking about DJ Khaled. I told him DJ Khaled had gave me his number, right? And I said I need to talk to Khaled. So Nip said at the video, did you talk to him? You see what he said? I ain't gotta read it. He said, did you talk to him? But I was doing an interview too, and I said yeah. And I sent him a call cuz back after the meeting. Nip said off top, let me know once he balances it.
So look, it's obvious.
Now you see the date on there, right?
March 28th.
Now how was me and him having a conflict?
So it's obvious.
If me and him talking, but then look, let me show you though.
He busting like this in a full clip, and he didn't hit my brother at all.
All right, y'all, I know I said I wasn't gonna make no more videos about Nipsey Hussle in the last video, but you know, I couldn't help it. After this weekend, I saw Big U shit that he posted about Nip and about Fats, and if y'all didn't see that, let's take a little quick glance at that.
Nah, man, listen, Nip didn't never go against the gang, boy. Don't believe that. Nip was always 100, man. Nip was my loved one, and like a son. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
And when Nip left this earth, we was coon by coon, fire on fire. We was together. So don't let nobody else tell you no different. Because if it was anything other different than that, I'd be gone. Believe that. It was 100 months. We had a letter from the president. I'm gonna say that one. You know what I mean? Then I didn't do it.
Got you a whole bunch of different places at one time.
At one time. They say, y'all, you know what's another new one too? I got into it with Fats. Let me give y'all the information on it. I ain't never got into it with Fats. Fats is my little homeboy. Ever in my life, me and Fats ever got into it with nobody. Never, ever, ever, ever. So, you gotta figure that one out anyway. So, all that shit them is telling y'all stupid for listening to any of that shit. But y'all been listening and responding to this. These niggas been saying for the last 6, 7 years. Why you gonna stop? No, longer than that. Longer than that. Y'all was accusing me of shit that I ain't even do. And what's funny, I wasn't even in town. So figure that one out. But I ain't gonna address this. We winning. How about that? We winning.
Now, you see that he always refers to Nip, right, as his son, as his little homie, right? Now, if this is really the case, though, why in the world, when his birthday just passed, you ain't show no kind of love or recognition or nothing? You know, I don't pay attention to a motherfucker's words. So, you know, a pair of lips will always say anything. You know, you got to pay attention to the actions, right? The actions will tell on a motherfucker quicker than they words will, because a motherfucker can play the word game and be, especially a motherfucker that's been in the streets or been locked up. You know, that's why they call motherfuckers locked up cons. You know, they good at motherfucking conning a motherfucker, right? So, and I sit back peeping this shit with Big U, right? So it made me do a little more due diligence. So, you know, after seeing that shit right there, he said he ain't had no hands and Fats and shit. Now, I'm not even going to dispute the issue with Fats, but today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to rewind back to 2011 when Nip had the fight with Big U, and ultimately the fight, from what I've understood, involved not only Nip, but involved his brother and his dad to a degree. And while I was doing my due diligence to make this video right here, because seeing the shit with Big U and DJ Khaled and all that shit right there, it didn't set right with me. You know, something about it just don't set right with me. And I make this video, right? This is another food for thought video. This is not like no, you know, pointing the finger at him. He did that, none of that shit. But like, I want to connect the dots and get some understanding so I can have my mind, you know, at ease to a degree, right? So with this video right here, I'm just gonna put out all this shit out here fact-wise that I can find right here. Y'all can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I wanna get a group consensus right here. I wanna get a group understanding so I can get a better understanding. So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about these pieces, because as I was making this video, I came to find out Nip's baby mom, Tanisha Foster, is really related to Big U. That's Big U's niece right there, right? Her mom is motherfucking Big U's sister, which I didn't know. I just learned this shit out. If y'all tell me if all the stuff that I found on the internet is wrong, let me know in them comments below. But I found that really strange to see that she's connected to Big U. And another thing I found while I was doing this is that Kerry Latham, who was in the parking lot that got shot, that went to the wheelchair, that was supposedly the guy that was there to touch, to get the T-shirt from Nip because he had just got out of prison. He's related. He's been knowing Big U his entire life as well.
Okay, so you get out into the free world again, and this was around what, 7 months ago, I guess?
Yeah, 7 months ago.
Okay, and once you're out in the system, how are you, kind of reacclimating into society and sort of getting back on your feet?
Well, I was letting people give me money and help me and show me which way is the right way. Like Eugene Henley. He gave me some money, said, look, man, it's going to take a little while, but you back. So just take it one day at a time. I said, okay. He said, don't let it overwhelm you. Just take it one day at a time. We were raised up together, me and Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might know him as Big U.
Yeah, who's actually on the phone right now, who helped set up this phone call.
Right. Man, I think he's the one that discovered Nipsey.
So in this video, I'm gonna cover all these pieces. I'm gonna touch on Cowboy as well, but there's too many connections that go around to Big U. And in this video, we're gonna go touch on all those, and we're gonna figure this shit out together. But back to 2011 when this fight happened with Nip and Big U. Now there's conflicting arguments about this fight and how it happened and what it was about, right? I've seen the videos with Big U saying it was about studio equipment and so forth, so forth.
When I left the music industry, me and Nipsey had a fallout. He had my equipment and I wanted to use my equipment. He got mad because I got my equipment back. So then that's when our conflict started. I ended up getting the equipment back and said, I'm gonna move it right here at my shop on 43rd and Crenshaw. And then everybody can get there all the time. Nip, you can get to it when you want to. So he got mad.
You ain't gonna get on my way, you in my way, bro.
He ain't like that. He's supposed to make a diss song about me. Well, I ain't no rapper, I'm a scrapper. So we end up having to come talk about that. Pull up the homies, and Nip admitted it's wrong, but still there's some consequences to your wrong. I came to pick him up that morning so he can get his discipline. And his brother got in the way, talking about my brother not going nowhere. If I was his brother, I'd have did the same thing. Like, you're not going nowhere with these niggas. I would have did the same shit. But I mean, you're not from 60s though. And you're not from the hood, so, you can't really speak on hood business. And really, that's really what happened. Me and Nip talked that night. We went and chopped it up, and it was never nothing after that.
Now, everything that I can find on the internet, right? I'm not from LA, so you LA cats, y'all can correct me in the comments, you know what I mean? I know motherfuckers, you shouldn't be talking about LA politics and all that shit. Man, this is for the world to discuss. Nip is way bigger than just LA. This ain't an LA hood politics shit no more. This is way bigger. Nip is international. So now, fuck having to be from LA to talk about this stuff right here, because this is way bigger than just LA. So, from my understanding is that being the fact that Tanisha Foster, Nip's first baby mom, she is Big U's niece. And from my understanding, either Nip had put his hands on her or he got into a fight with some dude she was fucking with, and somehow she tried to break up the fight or some shit, and she got something happened to her, and she called Big U about the situation. So ultimately Big U and a whole bunch of his partners pulled up to the Marathon store, or it was Crenshaw Tees at that time, one of the two, right? They pulled up at the store and they get down with Nip.
As life has its ups and downs, in 2011, Sam saw himself in the midst of bullets flying outside their storefront. Nipsey's first child's mother is Big U's niece. Allegedly, there was a family dispute, which led to Big U pulling up on Nipsey's store while he was there, which resulted into a physical altercation between Big U and Nipsey in an alley near the store. Blacc Sam then allegedly went in the store to retrieve a pistol and fired one shot in the air to end the conflict. LAPD arrived within 1 minute of Sam's warning shot and seen the scuffle and Blacc Sam with a pistol in his hands. LAPD immediately opened fire on Sam from about 30 yards away. Somehow, not one bullet hit Sam. Everyone was ordered on the ground, roughed up and handcuffed while the helicopter hovered over the store. They were taken to jail that night, but would all bail out the next morning.
I guess Nip's dad gets involved with it too, and while they're tussling, Blacc Sam goes into the store, gets his pistol, he comes out and he takes a shot in the air, and while he takes that shot in the air, the police pull up right at that time and they shoot at Blacc Sam.
That's the beginning of this shit. How many fights I done had in this parking lot, I can't count, man. How many fights Fats had, my brother had, we can't count. How many, incidents with the police right here. Let me show you something. So, if you look where Aint standing right there, that's where my brother was standing, and if you look where, let me show you, standing about right here. This is where the police was busting from. And police is trained shooters, police don't miss. And he busting like this in a full clip, and he didn't hit my brother at all.
By the grace of God, no bullets hit Blacc Sam at all, none. I don't know if he got arrested after, but he didn't get hit. Life goes on. But from all the stories that I've read, right, Big U said they got cool the next couple days and all that shit, right, they get cool. But me personally, I know if a motherfucker, if I just came off an issue like that with somebody and we got the heads up and all this type of shit like that, like, even if we shook hands, I'm still gonna feel some kind of way towards you. Me personally, I'm one of them type of dudes, though, like, I don't fall out with motherfuckers and then start being cool. If I fall out with you, more than likely, it's probably fuck you for a long time to go. You know what I mean? Like, when bridges get burnt, I let them motherfuckers stay burnt. I don't be trying to build them motherfuckers, repair them, and let them. No, I don't do that. But I don't know Nip like that to say that. Maybe he did, but I can't see with your dad and then your brother almost getting killed by the police. I'm sure, it's cordial, but Big U being such the factor that he is from 60s, right? He's been the main piece of the 60s since the origination of the 60s to a degree, right? So we know that there's a fee, a tax, and he's always gonna have his hand in some shit right there.
Then when I decide when my son come home from college, he wanna do music. Right. So I'm like, okay, when we get the equipment, we're gonna put it somewhere where we can all get to it. Right. That's when they got upset, and he made the song. I don't rap,
that song never came out.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out.
Oh.
It wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out. And I don't rap, I scrap. And this is my neighborhood, my nigga. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is my land. This is my piece of rock. Right. I fought for this, nigga. I ain't gave this up. I'm still here every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it goes with what we was talking about. The documentary. Like her, like him, like... You got a bunch of young niggas who only heard of Big U.
And they only heard of that rumor, too, that you and Nip had a problem.
We never had a problem up to that. Why, and that problem...
On the documentary, they actually, the conspiracy theorists said Big U had something to do with that or whatever. That's why the first question I asked you was about the other shit, because I wanted to knock that out early, but now it's circling back, so continue.
Yeah, and so he made the diss song, we get into the altercation, we go to jail. When his brother get out, that 2 days later, we meet at the African restaurant, because they African.
Because they keep saying that there was an actual fight. There wasn't no fight.
I mean, it was, come on, man, come on.
Right.
You know what
I mean?
All right, yeah. It would take 5 or 6 of my little nephew to deal with me. And on the doc, they say that I'm pretty good. I'm 54 and I still, demonstrate. Yeah. But anyway, I love my kids. It's just a fact. Right. But it's over that night. It's over 2 days night. It don't go nothing. Right. Can't nobody really see me in my city, in my town. Right. Because I'm going to go myself if it come to that. Right. I don't need no nigga to do nothing for me. Right. Right. So we ain't got no beef. Right. Period. Right. We never stopped talking. Right. We didn't go 2 days with nothing. No. We didn't have nothing. In my mind, it's 4 levels of gangbanger. Of cripping. So it's the gangbanger, the nigga who's banging on you every day. What set you from? Nigga, where you from? A gang ready to gun you down. Young niggas. That lasts about 5 years.
Then it's the gang, you know, like he's gaming, but he ain't really in it. He from the hood, but he ain't banging no more. But he still representing the hood. He on the block, he getting his money on the block, and he know one or two dudes from other sets from jail. Then the next level is a nigga who just, he not in the hood like that no more. Got a family, doing what he doing, but he gonna pull up, and he's still rocking, but he got a bunch of niggas he own another life. Then that's me. That's the nigga who's totally 100% out the shit. I got a bunch of niggas, but I can go influence the hood. I can go, you know what I'm saying, and do the things.
Here's where it gets tricky as well. Now, all that time goes by from there, the whole nine, we get up to 2019, right? Long time in between. But I feel like that 2011 was the original rift between the fractions, you know what I mean? Nip is always gonna be in the 60s, so he always gonna have to show some love and be a cordial. So I'll take that into mind with the understanding that, okay, bam, you know, he gotta be cool to some kind of degree. But how cool really are you up here though? I mean, like, really, how cool are you? So we fast forward to 2019, right? Now here we go with Blacc Sam talking about the issue that they had with bringing Khaled out there, right? And the issue with so forth. And we know he didn't say Big U, he didn't say no names, but you know, everybody points at Big U since he's such the major factor. And we know for a fact that Big U has always had his hand in, you know, motherfuckers checking in with him and paying the tax and the fee. He's pretty much came out of his mouth so much to say.
As you know, LA was the first town that I ever heard created that check-in law. Where did that ever come from?
Well, I don't know if it was checking in, because it was more like I don't like to digress, but I'm going to have to digress.
You're just reminiscing a little bit. For cultural purposes.
Right, there you go.
It kind of go back to, I had a crew we used to kidnap. That's what we did. You know what I mean? That was how I made a living. You know, I did the little dope thing and traveling around the country. My whole thing was taking it. And we had a crew called the Body Snatchers. You know, and we still live to that today, but you know, that was our thing. So if you came to the city, in any city, and you're not moving right, then you need to check in.
Just to go back real quick, I don't want you to digress too much, but when y'all used to snatch a body back in the day, how y'all bring it back?
They bring it back.
Now, with that being said, you know, we look at this issue with Khaled right here, and now we see that Big U was cool with Khaled to some degree. And now this takes me back to why I made this video coming off of what I seen this weekend. I've never seen Big U post so many times to his social media account. You know, it's like he's trying to make a point, and he did address on the live, so he's clearly in the flow of knowing he has to address the shit on the internet. He can't let it get too far. So he was making a point by posting and sitting right next to Khaled, right? Like, me and Khaled is cool, but it makes me wonder though, right? Now, if Nip stuck up for Khaled and didn't let him get taxed, and then none of that what Wack call it, the LA shuffle, right? He didn't let that tax come across, and now Big U and Khaled is cool to a degree, or business partners, or however you word it. Because the way I look at it, you know, all the motherfuckers that keep in good standings with Big U is doing that in favor. So when they hit LA, they cool. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of shit. So when I look at this shit, it really makes me wonder right here, because, you know, Khaled, didn't you know that these motherfuckers was frontlining for you, and they gave you the pass right there? Or maybe it's not Big U that was really doing that, but I don't know who else that could be. But that could be my only understanding, that maybe it wasn't Big U that Blacc Sam was referring to. But I can't see who's high enough in power, to my understandings, that could even be a rift for them to even have to even make an issue about. You got to be high ranking for a motherfucker to really be on that type of time where you, like, you know what I mean? It's resistance, you know. Nip, I think for the younger generation was pretty high up there to a degree, right? I mean, he done did his, and he rose the ranks, right? So peeping Khaled and peeping Big U out this weekend on that live and seeing that shit right there, you know, it's just funny. So I was doing my due diligence again, right? And it's crazy how many people in that parking lot is cool with Big U, right? Now, Kerry Latham says that he was up there. He was the reason why Nip had showed up that Sunday. That's what everybody says. Nip showed up there to get some clothes for somebody that had just got out of prison. And, you know, so forth. It's supposed to be Kerry Latham. But Kerry Latham says he got up there. He wanted to buy a T-shirt. They didn't have the T-shirt, so he went outside to talk to Nip. But I find this funny because Kerry Latham has lied and contradicted himself on the stand over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Because the fact of the matter is, Kerry Latham has known Big U since childhood, and Kerry Latham is a killer, though. He just did 25 years for murder. Let's not look past the fact that man is already killed, and he's been around an environment around killers for 25 years. So being in prison, you know, you can, you know, and this is where a lot of motherfuckers get the game fucked up. You know, you could be a good motherfucker on the outside and come off cool like that, but still be rotten in the core. And that's where, you know, like with Big U to a degree, you know, just because a motherfucker be doing all the good shit for the community and the kids and shit like that, it don't take away from the fact that there's still a motherfucking a void in there. You can still be good and bad at the same motherfucking time. So don't get it twisted. So Kerry Latham been knowing Big U since childhood. He knew him before he went to the pen, and when he got out, he said Big U was the first one that put money in his pocket right there to get on his feet. So I find it funny that not only did Kerry Latham know Big U, Cowboy knew Big U. We know Tanisha Foster and Eric Holder, aka Shitty Cuz, got a history because Tanisha Foster, China Hustle, know everybody from the 60s. She's related to Big U, and she had pictures that she took down of her with Eric Holder. You know what I mean? And you know, I know for a fact that Tanisha Foster got to feel some kind of way because her daughter and all that, she's lost custody over multiple kids because she be reckless though, right? Y'all correct me in the comments anywhere when you catch me wrong on any of this shit. But from my understanding, she I could see her having, and now here's Nip with Laura London, GQ cover, you know what I mean? About to get married, happy and shit, rising up the ranks. Maybe she's spiteful. Now, like I said, this is just a food for thought type of video right here, but to my understanding, Eric Holder said he didn't know Shitty Cuz because he's a younger cat from the generation. But who all is cool with Big U? We got Kerry Latham, we got motherfucking Cowboy. Cowboy, and to this day, he still runs with the narrative that Big U and Nip and them is cool, and he couldn't see Big U doing none of this stuff right here. And then we have who else we had? We had Tanisha Foster. All these people are connected. Now, Kerry Latham, though, remember he said he couldn't find a T-shirt that he wanted when he was out there talking to Nip, so he took a picture or some shit like that, right? But you mean to tell me out of all the shit in the motherfucking Marathon store, you couldn't find one shirt you wanted? And he also said that his daughter had already got a gang of stuff from Nip when he had first got out because he had been out for like 6-7 months previous to that right there. So even Vlad, with the interview that he did with Kerry Latham, said that shit didn't add up. He told him straight to his face on the interview that shit did not add up.
Yeah, man, this whole situation doesn't make any sense. You know, and this is why I felt it was important. This is why I reached out to Big U and said, hey, you know, can we get Kerry on the phone and have him tell a story?
So there's something tricky about Kerry Latham, right? So he's to be taken with a grain of salt when it comes to this shit, in my humblest of opinions. But the issue here right now is that there's so many people connected to Big U. So now let's just fast forward a little bit, right? When Nip gets shot, you kind of see that Kerry Latham and his cousin, right? The ones that pulled up, and they only had been there for like 3 minutes. Had they been there to peep out the location? Who was he texting? Who was he talking to? Was his phone records ever divulged? Because who you know, you got Shitty Cuz pulling up to peep out the scene, but before that they had pulled up, so they're peeping out the scenery as well, and they're tied to Big U. And when Nip got killed, they was right there by him. And you know, the dude in the pink, a lot of people in my comments have said the dude looked suspicious in that body footage, and I'm not gonna replay the body footage because I got so much flock behind when I played it the first time. Everybody said, you know, don't show it, but it's been out there, and I think it had correspondence with Blacc Sam talked about when he first arrived there, so y'all can understand the scene and the situation. I tried to edit that shit to keep Nip from the ground. I totally respect it, but you know, they boxed Nip kind of in when he was right there. They made sure he wasn't going nowhere. They kind of kept him outside. They kind of kept talking to him. You know what I mean? They kept him from going into the store where he might have been safe. Is my way that I look at it, right? So, you know, now after Nip gets popped, right, we got Cowboy here, right? Cowboy is another one to focus on for a brief second in time, because going off of Cowboy's own words, right? He said that when Shitty Cuz pulled up, the first thing that Nip said to himself was, I wonder how this one's gonna turn out.
When the car pulled up and they hit that corner, and when Nip asked Renpaul, is that Shitty? And Renpaul like, yeah. And he didn't really say it to nobody, but I distinctly remember saying, I wonder how this gonna unfold. You know what I'm saying? I think that's exact words, like, I wonder how this gonna unfold. Oh no, I wonder how this is gonna play out, something like that. You know, and at the time, you know, you don't really think nothing of it. You know, I'm just sitting there now, just ear hustling, just listening to what's going on. Like, you know, I don't.
Now, being a big homie, being that Nip is your little homie, you would think that Cowboy, hearing that come out of him and knowing that the dude ain't been around and he's supposedly no good, right? You would be on top of your motherfucking A game, right? You would have went and got the banger. You would have did whatever you need to do. You'd been on top of your shit though. You would never left him out there by himself like that, or let alone, you know what I mean? Like, been shaking hands with him and doing all the shit that we done seen in the surveillance footage. But you know, something don't set right to me, because we got to look at the money trail. Who stood to profit with Nip? And we know the LAPD have been trying to knock Nip off for a long time. You know what I mean? They had already proved that they've been trying to shut his store down, and they've been trying to do something right there. So we know the higher ups would be, you know, the LAPD or the government type of officials, right? So who stands to profit, and who did profit afterwards? Because we seen, after Nip died, we seen Cowboy came into a bunch of money, right?
Now, I said, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, damn it? I said, can you hear me now, motherfuckers? Can you hear me now? Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you hear the words?
We see Big U came into some money as well, because he redid his little store and all that shit right there, right? Who stands to profit on this? Two people that got knockoff brands of Nip's stuff, Cowboy, Big U. Now, we know Big U had been working for the GRID program, right? And he had been advanced, I don't know how much money by the LAPD or whoever it was, government officials. So, you know, whoever knocked off Nip, you know, or whoever had all these people in line and was able to pay them off, you know, definitely had money. And let's not forget, Eric Holder had a prestigious attorney who was once O.J. Simpson's attorney as soon as he got arrested, but they got him off the case because he was getting so much hate and so forth, and he had to get that public defender. So money, there's a money trail here somewhere. I can't connect all the dots. Maybe y'all can help me in the comments. I'm just giving y'all food for thought from what I've been revealed to me. Maybe y'all can help me understand a little bit better. But the money trail, Cowboy definitely came into a gang of money. Where that shit came from, I know you didn't make all that money off of selling all that bootleg ass shit. No fucking way. Now, who stood to stand? Who you tell me? Y'all tell me in the comments though, literally, like, who stood to profit when Nip died though, and who did profit? You know what I mean? Because somehow, some way, all this shit is clearly, this is a hit. This is an assassination. This ain't no random shit. Anybody think this is a random assassination, random trivial shit at this time? You're fucking lost, because anybody that gets called snitch or somebody told, it would have been aggression. There would have been frustration. You would have seen body language. No. We can tell that when Shitty pulled up to peep the scene. He didn't do what he wanted. He should have did the first time. Even the getaway driver said that she told him he wasn't doing no drive-bys in the parking lot, right?
And while they're circling the block, we got testimony from Bernita that Eric Holder wanted to actually do a shooting at this moment from the car.
So that tells us that she knew what was up, and she got immunity, right? She got immunity. She's been scrubbed off the internet. She's long gone. And Kerry Latham, as a victim, he also got immunity. Why as a witness did you get immunity for this shit right here though? You know what I mean? So somewhere around this line, and Kerry Latham is the weak link. He couldn't keep up with his story at all. But who stood to profit? Who did profit? And how can we tie all this shit together? I want y'all to let me know in them comments right there, because yeah, this clearly was not no random argument or killing over being called a snitch. That was a narrative that was started, and I think Big U was the one actually that started that narrative, or was it Cowboy? Somebody started the narrative about that conversation of him being a snitch, and we now know that that ain't legit. And we still need to see that footage from the Marathon store. Shout out Nina Boy, who been motherfucking on top of this right here, because that footage from that Marathon show, because Cowboy, come on, man, out of all times, come on, it's just too convenient. You walk right in and then it happens and then you run right back out when he's going, and ain't nobody chases, nobody. We in the 60s and ain't nobody got a burner, ain't nobody, all the gang activity, all the shit that be going on, you mean to tell me ain't nobody, was nobody, it would Nip there, the motherfucking money bag? Come on, none of this shit sounds right, none of this shit sets right, but I don't know. Too many signs point back to Big U, in my opinion. Like I said, it's a food for thought ass video. You know what I mean? Don't take me for no. I'm just thinking out loud, because I mean, goddamn, like who really had and then the laughing at Nip, the justice for Nip. And if you pay attention to the conversation in the background behind that video, what the fuck is they talking about back there? You know what I mean? Like,
you got to tell me what you waiting on. Damn, my mama broke you with a
justice for Nip.
Or your boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it.
Everybody that was showing this shit.
You did. You did. They waiting on the interview. My cousin Kerry keep calling me, girl, right now. You see me a lot.
Let me tell you weirdos.
There's just too, shit don't add up. A pair of lips can say anything. A motherfucker can get on here and tell y'all I ain't do none of that, this, da-da-da-da-da-da. But actions, they tell you the story, right? So, I don't know, video kind of getting long as it is. I ain't gonna make this shit too much longer, but yeah, I need to get this off my chest and make a quick little video so, we can get a good understanding. But y'all let me know down in the comments, man, what y'all think about all these pieces right here, man. Do all these pieces come together to make the picture clear? Or am I off? Are these facts not legit? You let me know down in them comments. And shit, if y'all been peeping the videos, if you made this far in the video, smash me with that one. We already up there on 12K. Let's go, gang. We up there at 12K. Appreciate y'all. If y'all ain't subbed up, sub up. I'm gonna keep videos coming on. I don't know how many more of these Nipsey Hussle videos. I'm gonna be 100 with you at this point right here. I'm gonna try to get on some other content, some other shit. But the only shit that's standing out to me right now is this right here, this Nipsey Hussle situation. Because damn, Nip was a legend though, man. Come on, and prosecuting in the courtroom is one thing, but like, street justice for Nip though, like, come on, the code Nip that lived by, you know what I mean? Like, we need to know who was really behind this shit right here. And the psychics and all that shit, they said it was a higher up rap mob. They said it was way deeper than just one person, right? And it had to be. You had to have some bread to orchestrate all this shit. You had to have some power and some rank. But y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. To the next one.
I brought up that story just to let you know, like, it was a higher purpose, I believe, for what we're doing over here. It wasn't to get in trouble with the police. It wasn't to be a menace to the area. It wasn't to, continue a tradition of self-destruction. It was to build. And so all the obstacles and everything we went through for being misjudged and misunderstood, it didn't stop us. It wasn't a brick wall. It was a speed bump. And I embraced it as the resistance, the gravity of trying to do something great.